It's a Flow Friday sports show on Flow FM. Time to look at the state of the Hume Netball finals. Aimee Riley joins me on the line. Aimee, great to have you back with us again. How are you?
I'm great, thanks, Alice. It's a beautiful sunny day and we're into the tail end of finals and it's all very exciting.
Can't believe we've gotten to this point so quickly throughout 2024, but here we are. Let's talk all about it. Semi-finals in the C Reserves, starting with Osborne and Howlong. That game on Saturday just gone. Osborne too good, 44-17, the final result in Wowbundry.
Yeah, Osborne have a young C Reserve side, but no doubt really talented, and Howlong have been gallant all year, and whilst they do get a second chance, I know that they'll probably be a little bit disappointed with their game and with the margin. Taking nothing away from Osborne, they had an absolutely fantastic game. So straight into the grand final for Osborne, and Howlong will meet the winner of the day's after game, which I'm sure we'll discuss this weekend. Best on court for that game was Kristen Rava from Osborne.
All right, Jindera similarly had a pretty easy day out against the Giants, 36-14 in Howlong. That one finished up on Sunday.
They did, yes. Jindera had a great game this game. The week before, they probably started pretty slow against Henty. Not in the same fashion this week. They started really strong. They stuck it out for the whole game against, again, a gallant Giants who had a great game. They were just unfortunately not quite able to match Jindera's speed and experience across the court. So Jindera move on to this weekend and Giants bow out after a fantastic season. Best on court was Alexandra Castles from Jindera.
All right, well, let's go to the preliminary final in the C Reserve. Howlong and Jindera, that's tomorrow. How do you see it going? What's your prediction?
This is a huge matchup for me. It will actually be really tough to pick, and I'm certainly not game enough to pick it. Howlong finished second and Jindera finished third, and they had some phenomenal battles throughout the season. As I said, I'm definitely not game enough to pick a winner in this game because I think both teams have some really smart netball heads and some really talented youngsters coming up. It could honestly be anyone's on the day.
All right, well, it will be those two sides, or rather, I should say it was those two sides involved in semi-final action in the C grade last Saturday. Howlong getting the better of Jindera at 53-29 in the end. A very good win for Howlong. They would have been ecstatic.
Yes, it certainly was great for Howlong to get a team straight into the grand final as well. We love to see a variety of clubs there on the day. Jindera's C grades are a relatively young team, and I think they probably didn't quite fire on the day in the way that they hoped to. A lot of unforced errors and probably not the best transition into their attacking end. So I know they will certainly be disappointed with that game and they'll be looking to go again. Howlong absolutely stoked with that game. They had a great game. They really came together as a team. They capitalised on every opportunity that presented itself and shot fantastically, shown by the 53 goals that they put up for the day. Best on court was an absolute stalwart of their club, Bronwyn McCormack from Howlong.
There we have it. Well, on the Sunday, we had the Giants and Henty going at it, and Henty's C-grade outfit, aren't they up and about? They got over the Giants in a thriller. 32-27, not a whole lot in this one at all.
There certainly wasn't a lot in that game. The Henty girls, interestingly, actually played with their C Reserve shooters because both of their C grade shooters have injured their ACLs, so they're actually finished for the season. Massive props to the shooters that stepped up and played a fantastic game and helped those Henty girls get across the line. It's very exciting that they're into a preliminary final, and I know the whole town is around them. They've had such a fantastic turnaround this season, Henty. Giants have a great and again quite young C grade team. I got to see a bit of them throughout the season. They are a fantastic young team and they have had a really, really good run throughout the season. Plenty of fire across the court and a lot of great ball usage. Unfortunately, they couldn't quite get it done on the day. The 5-goal margin, not much in it, but certainly a great effort by both teams. And Henty moved forward. Best on court was Mara Cunningham from Henty.
Big prelim to look forward to tomorrow. Jindera, Henty. Give us your idea or your position on how this game's going to go in the end?
This will be a really interesting game for me. The Henty girls, as I mentioned, have got a few new shooters in due to injuries, so it'll be really interesting to see how they go with those combinations. Jindera C grade have as I mentioned, relatively young team, but a good combination with some experience in there as well. No doubt they would have taken a lot away from their finals loss in the major semi-final. They will be looking to come back stronger. I think this will, again, be a great hit out, and certainly all of our finals at this point will be. For me, Jindera probably have the slight edge, but Henty have that fire, so you just never know.
Well, wouldn't Jindera and Howlong be pretty sick of each other by now? Because they met again in the B grade on the weekend on Saturday last weekend, and it finished up pretty close between Jindera and Howlong, just 2 goals, the difference. Jindera too good though, 38-36 on this occasion. A good win for Jindera, but they had to work for it.
This game, and I can speak from experience because I was on the court, was a slog for the 4 quarters. Both teams, every 15 minutes they stepped on the court, absolutely gave it their all. Both utilised rotations really well with the rolling subs to keep fresh legs going. So much defensive court pressure from both teams. It was a really, really impressive game of netball from both the teams. I have no doubt Howlong will be disappointed to be so close to getting across the line and not quite getting there. And I know the Jindera girls were stoked to get the win and advance to the grand final. Taking nothing away from either team's game, but sincerely doubt that Howlong will take this lying down, and they will absolutely be ready to fire again because they will want to be in that grand final. Great game, a great way to open up the major semi-finals for B grade. It was an excellent hit out from both of those teams, and both have been a force all season, so it's a very exciting finals series remaining for that B grade division. Best on court was Catherine Wood from Howlong.
Holbrook sending a warning sign last Sunday. They beat Osborne 45-34. That's a huge scalp.
Yes, it was, and that was a massive game as well. Holbrook had a great game, and Osborne have, again, a relatively young B grade side who've had a phenomenal season, and they've been led with Sarah Schneider in there, who's come out of retirement and come down from A grade, so they've had plenty of fire across their court as well, Osborne. A fantastic game between both of these teams. Again, a really great hit out between 2 B grade teams that have battled all season. That top 4 has been quite tight in the B grades. Holbrook ultimately had some really accurate shooting, and Osborne probably weren't quite at the level that we've typically seen them at throughout the season. Some really smart decision play and ball skills from Howlong saw them walk away with that win. A great result for them. They'll be really happy with that. And I know Howlong bow out knowing that they've had a fantastic run this season. Best on court was Tara Fian from Holbrook.
Who meets Jindera in the final, Howlong or Holbrook? That is going to be decided tomorrow. Aimee, how do you see it going?
I'm genuinely, again, not game enough to pick this. As we know, I'm a notoriously
Come on now. I'm a very
poor tipper, and it's also because I genuinely don't know which way it will go. This is the game of the round for me. I think this is going to be absolute firecrackers. Howlong and Holbrook are both extremely hungry. They've both been thereabouts over the last couple of years and moving through finals, but not quite to the grand final. So it'll be absolutely down for the wire, and I honestly have no idea which team is going to win.
That's all right. I hope the fence is a comfortable place. Let's look. Let's look at the A grade, Aimee. And last weekend, some pretty big results, namely in the blockbuster, the classic game between Jindera and Osborne. Jindera emerged as the winners here in what was a relatively close game in the end. We always expected that it would be, but in the end, fairly comfortable too, you have to say. Jindera beating Osborne 56-43. What happened?
It was not too dissimilar to the B grade, a huge game, this A grade game on the Saturday. Up until the 4th quarter, where Jindera pushed away, this was goal for goal. It was so tight. Neither team could get that break to be able to extend out that margin. The phenomenal amount of pressure that was coming out of both defensive ends to try and get any turnovers from the attacking was absolutely sensational. Both teams utilised legs across the whole court. There was any loose balls and any opportunities, had 3 people around it. It was just a great display of netball from 2 of the premier sides over the last couple of years in our league. Osborne will be, I'm sure, very disappointed with that loss, bitterly disappointed given how close they were. As I mentioned, Jindera pushed away in that 4th quarter, but before that it was extremely close. I know that they will, again, not take that lying down, and they will be ready to go again this weekend, and they will want to be in that final game. So it'll be a very interesting clash, but certainly a congratulations to Jindera for making it straight through. Best on court for that game was Emma Wellington for Jindera.
All right, well, in the other game, Howlong made sure that they were signalling out to everyone that they're not going away, and they'll certainly be a force to be reckoned with. They beat Holbrook 51-36, saving their best till last. Howlong
had a phenomenal game. They are potentially an underestimated team. They are skilled and experienced across the court. They have Kirby McDonald in their goalkeeper position and Abby Liskey in their goal defence, which is a formidable defensive end, and additionally their attacking end with Nicola Lane and also with Emma Pajada worked extremely well in this game together. Their utilisation of space across the court to really open it up and let their attacking end flow was fantastic. Holbrook were making a really great comeback at the end of the game, and it probably was more at the start of the game that this margin blew out. Holbrook just took a little bit longer to settle and to get into the rhythm of the game, and Howlong piled on some goals pretty quickly while Holbrook probably weren't quite able to convert in their attacking end under the goal ring. So it was a fantastic game, and the margin probably doesn't quite show accurately how intense this game was as well. I know the Holbrook girls were very disappointed with their loss. They've had a fantastic season. They are a great core group, and I have no doubt that with the youngsters that they've got up and coming, Holbrook will be a finals presence in A grade for a long time to come. But Howlong's defensive pressure, their discipline and their experience won out the day here. So they certainly will be one to watch over the coming days. Best on court was Abby Liskey for Howlong.
Well, Howlong have Osborne in a pretty good position for the preliminary final tomorrow, you'd think, given that they won relatively comfortably. Osborne chasing shadows towards the end of their game against Jindera. I'll ask you this, how do you see both sides approaching the game?
They've played each other a lot. They've played each other twice throughout this season, and neither of these teams have changed a huge amount over the last couple of years. There's certainly a few that have moved throughout them. Osborne probably more so, but they've still got quite a few girls returning from last year that would have played Howlong a couple of times and in the grand final. I think both teams will not approach it any differently, but certainly would want to have a look at some live streams because we do have our games live streamed, which is fantastic to be able to review them. And both will go in well prepared, knowing that it's going to be a full 4 quarters and a whole team effort to be able to get it done and get it over the line.
Aimee Riley, always a pleasure discussing Hume Netball with you. Enjoy all the action tomorrow. Thanks for your time.
Thanks so much, Alice. It'll be great